We're making gnocchi zucca gialla with butternut squash. And this is also very typical in many, many areas of Italy. And you want to start out just with an ordinary butternut squash that you buy in the grocery store. And then get yourself a good sharp knife and cut it up into pieces and make sure that you're really holding on to that knife with a sturdy hand. And you see, butternut squash has a lot of seeds. And we're going to bake this with the seeds in the squash, because I really don't like to take the time to take them out raw. I take it out afterwards. So once I have the squash cut up, then I bake it in a dish. I just add about 1/4 to 1/2 cup of water just to help keep it moist. So put the squash in, cut side down. This is going to take, about 30-35 minutes, depending on how fat your squash is. You want it just to be soft. So when you can poke a knife in there and it comes out easily enough, you know it's ready. So in 350-degree oven, put this in, you forget about it for about 30 or 35 minutes. I made some for you earlier, and here it is. It's cooling down now, and you see how soft it looks now, and now you can easily take out the seeds. Just scrape them right out like that, because all you want from this is the pulp. So you take all of this flesh out, and it just comes out very easily. And you want about 1.5 cups of the pulp to make the recipe. So you may want to put it in a strainer over a bowl and get out the excess water. But I think you get the idea. And you let that cool down some. And you see how nice and smooth that looks now, and it's fairly dry. And now we want to add egg to bind that. So you want 4 egg yolks. There's 3. And we're going to put another one in. And if you haven't got one of these little nifty gadgets, got to get one, because that is an egg separator. And you should really separate eggs using an egg separator, not transferring from shell to shell. So there's our 4th egg yolk. And this is going to be a first course. And now we want salt, about 1 teaspoon of salt. I just love the sunny yellow color of this. So about 1/4 cup of Parmigiano Reggiano. And then, just because I don't want to be outdone, how about a little cinnamon in this? Yes, I really love the flavor of cinnamon in this. So about 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon goes in. And we're going to put in some dried apricots. So I'll put about 5 or 6 of these in. If you didn't want to use apricots, you can just leave this out. But I just think this is going to add a nice little extra flavor to this. All right, there are the apricots. Now we need flour. We need about 1 cup of flour, give or take, depending on how wet this mixture is. So let me get the apricots all mixed in. Get the rest of that in, and we're good to go. So get a good pot of water going, and we're going to cook these in boiling water just until they bob to the surface. Here's our boiling water, and this isn't going to take very long at all. So as they boil, you have ready a buttered bake sheet, because you're going to transfer them. And to do this, you take 2 soup spoons. You can make these as big as you want to. Take 2 soup spoons, and you see it's a rather sticky dough, and just put them into the water, pushing off with the other. You can make them as large or as small as you want them to. So I'm just taking them off the spoon, and when they bob to the top, we're going to take them out. Now for a recipe like this is going to be a first course, as I say. You can serve probably 6 to 8 people, depending how big you make each one of these gnocchos. All right, so that's about, let's see, we have, I'd say, a good 1.5 dozen almost. And here's the last one. All right, now they need to come to the surface. When they come to the surface, we'll be able to take them out and put them in our bake dish. But you know what is great with this? Black truffle, tartufi neri. And these are scorzone, the summer truffles from Umbria, and it just would be very typical over a dish like this, especially if we were having them in gubbio. And this is a taglia tartufo, a truffle slicer. And you just shave the truffle over that blade to give you, look at that, slices of truffle. This looks ready, and we can take this out so you see how fluffy they look. Get all of that water off, because now you got to keep all of this warm, and if you're making a lot of these, you want to keep the oven on and put these in the oven to keep them warm until you serve them. I put a little butter sauce over the top, just like that, and I put them in the oven to keep them warm. So we'll put them in the bottom oven until we're ready to serve them. And I would say keep the oven on, you know, like 300, 350, well, for about 5 or 7 minutes just before you're ready to serve them. And then you take them out and your first course is ready.